So overall, it was a collaboration with Leah Stein, and it was an attempt to introduce the students to the idea of site-specific art and site-specific work. So Leah Stein introduced them to her process and some of the ways she creates this type of work, and students had to choose a site, and the barest essentials were that they had to have movement, they had to have sound in their performance piece, and they could have objects if they wanted to. So a site, movement, sound, and possibly objects, and then they had to create a 5-minute performance piece that reflected the site. We told them that the performance piece could not work in a different site. It needed to be integral to the site that they had picked and their experience in that site.
Different. The process is a lot harder than it looks. It's not just jumping around. You have to really figure it out.
The process.
The hardships we encountered during this project was getting kicked out of our spots so many times, and the fact that when we first started collaboration and talking to each other was hard because we all kind of just talked at once and we didn't listen to each other.
Supposedly people think you can fall into the rail tracks and meet your untimely end, which I suppose is common in some places. And then the transit police, intimidating, don't doubt them. They requested that we move, and so then we tried this very odd little place that's down next to school, and it's this abandoned place that smells faintly of body odor and urine. But it was very cool, and we reenacted hobo ways.
Well, the first process, the first day we went to our site, it was at a fountain, and we had to find little places that nobody ever noticed inside, and we brought them out and decided what kind of moves we would do from that, and just stick out that someone will notice that there's something going on that side. Just if someone's walking, they'll notice we have to stand out so everyone knows what we're doing.
It was nice because it was so different than the typical classroom day, and students were totally in different environments. They were totally in charge of the process themselves. It was really challenging, I think, for group dynamics, and groups had to figure out how to work together. And I would say throughout the week that they were working together, it was amazing to see the transformation of them all actually becoming site-based performers instead of people who had no idea about this process, they became the process, I feel like, and really, and towards the end, they didn't need comments from me or from Leah so much, or from David, the other dancer. They really, they were so in charge of it that they were creating their own pieces and revising their own pieces and continuing to just think about what would make them better and more powerful as performance pieces.
Oh, well, we were trying to come up with something that we thought was abstract, so we tried to make something that was that could be interpreted in several different ways.